Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I want to give you guys the update on my Cyclone Shockwave Slayer that is stacking quite a bunch of AoE to get back some Legion vibes. We are currently running 24 +1 to melee strike range, and Cyclone has the tag 8% increased area of effect per 1 additional melee strike range. So we are stacking range to get a big, beautiful Cyclone. And this is like the update. I've done a bunch of adjustments to the build. So now we have like 100% hit chance, 100% chance to impale. We are ailment immune. We have like a good amount of resistance, a bit of max resistance. We have positive chaos res. With the granite flask up, we're running like 26. Like in fight, when stuff procs like a 30,000-40,000 armor. We do have endurance charges. We have power charges. We have frenzy charges. A lot of speed, a lot of buffs. We have like onslaught on hit because of the tattoo that I'm running over here, which is like the honored tattoo of the berserker. So we have like onslaught. We do have the adrenaline thanks to the death rush. And overall, the build is doing fine. Okay, I'm saying fine because I expected a little bit more when I go into the higher budget. So the first version. Let's see if I open my PUB here. The first version, we were sitting on about, I think like 25 or 30 divines investment, and we were sitting on 13 mil DPS with both our Vile Ancestral War Chief and Protector Totem up. So that was, wait a sec, actually I have to do Blood Stance because that will be single target, right? Like 15 mil DPS. Now, on the update that I'm doing today, we're sitting on 24. So we have like gathered another 10 million DPS while being ailment immune and adding a bunch more stuff to the build. And honestly, I don't really feel too much difference of the first edition to the second edition, even though this one has like a lot more investment. I think right now I'd see about 100 divines investment overall when I'm thinking about all the gems, the jewels, the cluster jewels, and so on and so forth. Anyways, let me show you a map real quick. With this build, currently I'm farming challenges, means at the moment I'm doing Essence, Harbingers, Delirium, which, is basically just me doing all the 40 challenges along the way. So this is a pretty juicy map with 50% more monster life, crit multi, and stuff like that. So nothing really to laugh on, not like some random ass map showcase. Let's see what we get into. So the build is actually pretty fun. It has a lot of speed, a lot of AoE, and I think it feels really good. But I also have my concerns about the investment curve. Because, you know, builds don't really scale linear. It means if you spend 10 divines and you have 1 million DPS, if you spend 100 divines, you have 10 million. If you spend 1,000 divines, it has 100 million DPS. This is not how it works. And at the end of the day, you're really bound on your weapon choices. And getting like a good weapon is like really essential to the build. And I'm still running my self-crafted kind of like trash tier staff. So we are sitting on like less than 700 fizz DPS. And I did actually spend like 30 divines trying to craft a better weapon, and it didn't happen. And it's kind of sad just because, wait, there's a triple essence over here. Okay, let me quickly clean up here. Because this is a spin to win build, okay? As soon as you stop spinning, you stop winning. This is kind of like the idea, because if you randomly start using those essences, especially in Delirium and stuff, there's always some random shit monsters or on-death effect spawning, and this is kind of like yikes. So let's open all of them, get some leech going, get my totems down, start cycloning, and the range is like so freaking good. It's like very often that you can stand away from on range and just be able to kill monsters just because of this hilarious range that we have. Oh, there's a big boy essence. So, oh wait, I need to like do my daily. Before the daily runs out, I want to kill the boss because it gives me one to my, what do you say? Currency thingies. But as you see, even though it's a daily boss, the damage is quite fine. But, so, I would say you can pretty much do everything in the game with this build. Unless it comes to, like, the hard stuff, okay? And the hard stuff, in my opinion, is something like Uber bosses, is something like, you know, Wave 30 Simulacrum. This is, like, 100% daily. These are the things where you know, the game gets very spicy. And I have my doubts that this build can do this, at least on the budget that I'm currently running it. I'm not saying it's bad, and it is actually a lot of fun, even though I sound like a little bit, we say, sad about the build or something. It still works fantastic, as you see. It's super fast, clear spin, everything. I just expected a little bit more when it comes to the higher investment, but this might be the nature of Cyclone. This might be the nature of melee builds in general, and it is kind of a common known fact that melee builds need a lot of investment to feel good. So I pretty much figured out the range point that I want to go at, which is currently, I think, almost 40 range in Sand Stance. But I don't think it's worth to go higher than that, because in the end of the day, you're going to be squishy. You're not going to have a lot of damage. All you're going to have is a lot of AoE. And the AoE doesn't do anything if you're still not killing monsters, right? So I think, like, I found, like, the perfect mix of, like, range and damage. And from now on, it's just, like, just upgrades. Weapon upgrades, item upgrades. But this is, like, the part where it then becomes, like, pretty expensive. And I actually plan to do this with, like, a Tailwind Elusive Onslaught boots. But there is, like, no way to fix the resistances if I go that route. So, as you saw, map showcase, pretty sexy. What did I change from the past build? I think pretty much everything is the same besides the 4 items that I said I want to change, which is the Praxis Ring, the Tabula Rasa, my All-Res belt, and my like weird like All-Res boots, basically, right? So I started off with adding this chest. This is actually Omega big chest for Cyclone, or basically an Omega big chest. I paid 33 divines for that. It has double elevated like crit and the all-res max resistance with minus mana cost and chance to avoid elemental ailments and 1 additional curse. So this is like pretty much a perfect chest for this build. The only thing that's really necessary is the minus mana cost of skills, so Cyclone doesn't cost any mana. And on top of that, the base crit is very good, as well as the additional curse, but this is very deterministic craftable. You would basically, because if you, for example, the additional curse is a prefix and it's the only caster mod. So if you fix your suffixes, for example, you throw together like Res and the crit strikes, because both are elevated, you can like force the minus mana cost. I kind of forgot. I think it was like attack modifier on suffix. There are not many attack modifiers on suffix. The same with like forcing the prefixes, which is the additional curse. And I think that is Reforged Caster. And on Prefix, there are not many caster mods. I think Apply Additional Curse is the only one. And then finishing off with an Aceling. So very deterministic, craftable chest, but a very good one. But I even, as I said before, it is very hard to get the resistance going on that build. And therefore I decided to go with the resistance on my chest on top of that. That made me, since I was running the Praxis Ring for the minus mana cost to enable Cyclone permanently, since I have this chest, I could opt into another ring, and I decided to go for a Circle of Guild because of attributes, the mana reservation efficiency, and the physical damage while affected by Herald of Purity. At the end of the day, I figured out that the mana reservation efficiency is not worth it. I would rather go for the buff effect and increased physical damage, because I was stacking quite a bit of mana reservation efficiency. We have an Enlighten 4 on a 6-link setup. We do have the mana reservation efficiency there. We went up to the Sovereignty cluster. We add mana reservation efficiency on my small cluster jewels. I even have a Megalomaniac with Pride and Determination of mana reservation efficiency. We anointed Charisma. So overall, I think even if I put away this ring, yeah, my stats are then gone. Feels bad. But that makes me allowed to use Precision, Blood and Sand, Vitality, Dread Banner, Herald of Purity, Pride, and Determination. All my auras are locked in, so I figured out to do that. And now, basically, none of my skills cost anything. We have our Cyclone on minus 50 mana cost, so Cyclone is free. Then I'm running my Ancestral War Chief, Protector, sorry, Multiple Totem on Life Tap. Means I'm spending now life to actually summon my totems, nothing on mana, as well as my Assassin's Mark, the Mark on Hit, with Berserk on Life Tap. The Hera Auras, and this is my Cyclone. So free for because of Life Tap, free because of Life Tap, free in terms of mana cost. Damn it. Dip. Sorry. As I said, life tap setup, mana cost free, auras and auras. So basically, nothing hurts me when it comes to mana, and this is like really good because Cyclone gets very fast, and you're gonna get like a lot of like mana issues if you don't do it this way basically, or at least you have to keep a bunch of like free mana. I think in my version it even works because I have 45 mana and these are 11 and 14 mana, and we, based on our base duration, we're still able to get our totems up and still be fine with the mana recovery rate. But since I wanted to get precision on a higher level, I kind of wanted to go down to like 0 mana, so that's why I early fixed that with the life tap support. So since we, as I said, mana cost free, swapped out the Praxis Ring, so now it's about resistance and ailment immunity. So I picked these boots up with, I think about like 3 divines or something, with the avoid elemental ailments, essence modifier, and then getting the chance to avoid elemental ailments on the prefixes as well. So now I'm having 32 plus 33, which is a total of 65, plus the 35 that I have on my chest makes exactly 100% chance to avoid elemental ailments. So I don't have to do, to lose a jewel slot for Storm Shroud, for example. So this is a way to do it. Maybe it's still better to do the Storm Shroud way, just because you have additional prefix on your chest. You don't have to worry too much about your boots. You can maybe go with like Tailwind, Onslaught, Elusive if you figure out a way to fix your resistance. My best guess, besides having a Mage Blood, would be get rid of the Death Rush and take an actual like this like crit multi resistance kind of like ring. And other than that, nothing too crazy over here, just resistance and ailment avoidance, movement speed, crafted life, nothing too crazy. And then for the belt, the only thing that's left missing was like lightning and fire resistance, so I just got like a belt with I think like 2 divines or something, with life, resistance, and flask charge when you deal a critical strike. Since we are a crit build and we do attack quite fast, this gives us back some nice flask charges. For the Abyss Jewel, anything Corrupted Blood that you can afford. I have like here low life, a bit of accuracy, a bit of armor, but Corrupted Blood. So we are bleed immune thanks to the Endless Hunger, because you are unaffected by bleeding while leeching, and we are Slayer, we are leeching all the time. We have Overleech, so this is gonna be active 99% of the case. And Corrupted Blood immunity over here. And also like stun immunity while you are leeching. So, well, like stun immunity, bleed immunity, Corrupted Blood immunity, ailment avoidance, and yeah, feels pretty good. The only thing that this build does not have is spell suppression, and the reason for that is we're on the left side of the tree and not on the right side. On the right side we have a bunch of like massive spell suppression clusters, and the way I built this with like all the strength nodes and melee strike range with the Chaos Spirit and the Abysses, there is like no way of getting anywhere a spell suppression, maybe on like your boots, but yeah, good luck getting like 80% spell suppression out of your skill tree and jewels. I would not suggest doing that. Good. Another way would be replacing the Abysses. The Abyss is a very strong item, a lot of physical damage, crit multi, attributes and stuff like that. And attributes is actually not really, like not to worry about, as well as like the Circle of Guilt has also all attributes. And why this is important is because we need the intelligence, we need the dexterity. I got to a point where I could take versatility and be able to get rid of those 2 int nodes and replacing them with mana reservation efficiency, as well as here chance to blind enemies on hit with attacks. I think blind is a bit of underrated in this game, and it's only 5%, but we're hitting with Berserk up and everything. We're hitting like, I don't know, what does my PUB say actually? 16 times per second is what we're hitting. So basically it's almost guaranteed to get the enemy blinded within a second of like cycloning onto them. Otherwise, the setup didn't really change. Pride, Determination, Herald of Purity, Dread Banner, Vitality on an Enlightened support, Cyclone, Malefice, Brutality, Pulverize, Shockwave support, and Infused Channeling. Then we have Assassin's Mark, Mark on Hit, Life Tap with Berserk, the Ancestral War Chief, Phantasmal Protector. Then we have multiple totems with Life Tap, and here we have a Molten Shell, Blood and Sand, Precision, and Blood Rage. And actually, I should have my Molten Shell over here. So basically, I needed 1 more support gem because I want to get in the Life Tap on my totems. Means I had to get rid of my cast damage taken setup. So I just put in the Molten Shell as like my safety button, because, you know, if shit's gonna be hard, then I just gotta press my Molten Shell and most of the times it's gonna be fine. Good. Skill tree wise, nothing really changed. I think I only got like 1 extra level since the last video, so all I've done was just thinking. I got like this megalomaniac now with like the double mana reservation efficiency, and other than that, the build pretty much stayed the same. Oh yeah, like the mana reservation efficiency, the blind on hit, and like doing that kind of things, but nothing too crazy. The path of building link is in the description below if you want to follow that, because all the information is there, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. It's just like the important things. One important thing here to mention is you want to get the 100% chance to impale, so you're actually getting this maximum benefit, so you're not losing out on hits. And I had to actually get 1 rare jewel with chance to impale enemies on hit with attacks, because without that I would be somewhere around 94%. So 1 jewel over here. This can be everything like crit multi, life, resistance, impale, all res, chaos res, whatever you need, get it in. But for me the most important was life and the impale on hit, and then make like a PoE trade search with like count 1 and then say like all res, multi, res, like whatever you kind of need on your build, and try to get a good one. I think this was like 50 chaos or something, so that was definitely fine to get. Good. Anything else to say? Yeah, transmog. So microtransaction is a bit of an awkward position here, because this is a legacy set as far as I know. I think the Orion set was when Cyrus and the Conquerors got released like in Metamorph League, I think. So this was the core supporter pack from like a couple years ago, so this is like not obtainable. I just wanted to have like a nice white set that goes well with the currency Cyclone effect, as well as the white shockwave circles. The rest is the Titan weapon effect, the bleached skull helmet. This is Orion, the divine flare effect, then disabling all of my auras. I'm having the Apollyon shockwave effect, as that currency Cyclone, and the white herald effect. The rest is pretty much standard, and Polaris blood and sand effect, so it also gives like some more of a white style to this, and the Orion portal effect, which is like the Cyrus one, but these are not obtainable anymore. I should have like figured that out, or at least thought about that before getting the transmog going, because people are always like, yo, your transmog looks like so good, like your MTX, what is this set? And then I can only say like, it is good, but you cannot get it anymore, which is always like a downer. So I should definitely plan my MTX up front to be able to showcase, so people, if they want to, they can like have their character looking like mine. Good. As I said, path of building link is in the description below. I'm moving on to the next project, and yeah guys, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you on the next video.